Now, it's hard for me to hate on Le'Veon Bell. He took a gamble on himself, and this is the NFL we're talking about, where the average career length of a running back is dependent upon who you ask. The NFL says that it's about 6 years, while the NFLPA says it's more like 3. Now, Bell was thinking about his future, and it was the right decision. He wanted to get paid like the top 10 player he was, and it was deserving. The Steelers drafted Le'Veon Bell in the 2nd round out of Michigan State. And in 5 years, in the black and yellow, he ran for 5,336 yards, 35 rushing touchdowns, while adding 7 touchdowns through the air. He was a 3-time Pro Bowler and a 2-time All-Pro, and he was absolutely worthy of a huge payday. So what did the Steelers do? They put the franchise tag on him. The franchise tag is a scam. When teams can't reach a deal with their star player, they can slap the franchise tag on them and basically hold them on a 1-year deal. Now imagine you entering the final year of your contract and you think you're about to make cold hard cash only to be hit with a 1-year deal with no long-term guarantees. It's why Dak Prescott's injury is significant. And in Le'Veon's case, it was even more significant as the Steelers had already tagged him before. Players get injured and they lose out on big money, then they're forced to play longer, risking further injury, or they just fizzle out of the NFL and get a regular job. Now, there are 3 types of franchise tags. An exclusive tag. A team will pay that player no less than the average of the top 5 salaries at the player's position, or 120% of the player's previous salary, whichever is greater. The player is not allowed to negotiate with other teams. A non-exclusive tag. This involves the same salary offer as an exclusive franchise tag, only the player can negotiate with other teams. The player's current team can match any offer sheet. If the old team declines to match the offer, it gets 2 first-round picks from the other team as compensation. This is the more commonly used franchise tag. The transition tag. A team offers the player a salary that is the average of the top 10 salaries at his position. That player can negotiate with other teams. The player's original team has the right of refusal to match any offer given to a transition tag player by another team. If the original team decides to retain the player, it must agree to the contract terms offered by the other team. If the original team decides not to match the offer and the player leaves, it receives nothing in compensation. Now, hindsight is 2020, and as the 2018 season approached, some big names signed for big bread. Aaron Rodgers negotiated an extension for 4 years and $134 million with $67 million guaranteed. Odell Beckham Jr. signed a 5-year, $95 million extension with $65 million in guarantee. Aaron Donald signed a 6-year, $135 million extension with the Rams with $87 million guaranteed. And Khalil Mack signed a 6-year, $141 million contract with the Chicago Bears, with $90 million of that being guaranteed. So when he returned in 2019, he signed with the Jets for less than what the Steelers were offering him. What? Why did he do all that? Now, there's no argument that during his time in Pittsburgh, he was a top 10 player in the NFL. But boy, did he play like some ass in New York. And you have to wonder, why in the hell did he go to the Jets? He ended his Jets career with just 863 rushing yards and 4 total touchdowns in 17 games. In his 3 best seasons in Pittsburgh, Le'Veon Bell averaged over 2,000 scrimmage yards. Bell missed 10 games in 2015, but still averaged more yards from scrimmage per game than he did in 2019. His 1,250 yards from scrimmage were his fewest in a season where he played at least 12 games, and his fewest since his rookie year when he finished with 1,259 scrimmage yards. And we can't forget about that rap album. He fell from top 10 to not even mention at all, and the Steelers look like geniuses here. They let Bell walk and bet on himself. His replacement ran for 973 yards and a Pro Bowl. The harsh reality is that the NFL is now about running back by committee. It's important to have a star in the backfield, but you can also get it done with 2 or 3 good backs. And this was the point Le'Veon Bell was driving at. The name of the game is job security. In that same 2018 season, the Seahawks' Earl Thomas went down in week 4 with a broken leg, and he ended up as a free agent. Since then, he's been cut, and he joined a tag team with his brother or something like that. That's what Rob Tidwell was talking about. Show me the money. We see a lot of players retire early from the NFL nowadays because of injuries and things like, CTE. Leaving the game of football with your CT scan not looking like mush is starting to sound a lot more enticing than playing for 2 decades with a body full of pain and no funds to take care of yourself after those endorsements start running out and that playing money is dried up. Plus, it's a passing league. Long gone are the days of running backs getting 30 and 40 carries a game. Fans pay to see passes, and they pay to see big plays, and they pay to see athletes do athletic things. No more running between the tackles, no more I formation, no more workhorses. This was Le'Veon Bell's chance to get paid, and he tried to seize the day. The only problem is, it didn't pay off, because he went to the Jets. Adam Gase says it doesn't matter if he misused Bell, but that's just not true. Adam Gase is just bad at his job. Bell is a bit more humbled, and he seems ready to work. This release will be a blessing in disguise as he leaves one of the worst franchises in the NFL and now has an opportunity to play for the Chiefs? Oh, come the on. So always remember, kids, if you're gonna bet on yourself, go all the way. But if you do, don't go to the Jets.